Hello, it's 1 o'clock time for the Joy Business Report. Coming up in this edition, government justifies decision to keep COVID-19 levy as it insists 2024 budget is business-friendly based on some tax reliefs granted, and expansion works at Tema Port to double container intake by 2025 as government projects massive revenue from the project. Also in this bulletin, Ghana Tourism Development Company pledges to meet 2 million air travel arrivals target to increase revenue. We have details of these and many more shortly. Thanks for your company. I am Pius Kojobaka. Let's now look at our stories. Government has justified the decision to keep the COVID-19 levy despite concerns from businesses. Ahead of the budget presentation, businesses called for the removal of the levy as well as the e-levy. Partner at accounting firm Deloitte Ghana Yaolate has argued that removing the taxes would have been more beneficial to the private sector. Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, has been explaining the purpose for maintaining the levies. He spoke on Joy News' program, The Probe.
During COVID, we spent a lot and we had to borrow to spend. Because as a result of the spending we did, we recorded a deficit of about 14% in 2020. And this deficit has to be financed. And you can finance the deficit by increasing revenue, through increasing taxes, or by borrowing. Under the circumstances, people were already hard hit, and therefore you could not increase taxes in many ways. So we borrowed to finance our deficit. And so even though COVID may have abated in terms of the contraction of the disease and the spread of the disease, the debt burden associated with COVID still exists.
Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, speaking on Joy News' program, The Probe. Now, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Development Company, Koju Enchi, has pledged that government will do all it can to meet the target of 2 million air travel arrivals by 2025 to increase revenue. According to him, government has worked assiduously to improve Ghana's visibility on the continent and beyond to position the country as the preferred destination for tourist, trade and investment activities. He was speaking at the Middle East and Africa Duty-Free Association Conference.
For us in the tourism industry, it creates country visibility that for the last 1 month, the last 6 months of planning of this conference, and in the last few weeks, at least within the MATFA ecosystem, everybody will be talking about Ghana. We have attracted over 300 participants and delegates from across the world. So it is not just for this conference, but it is a global strategy of the government and hitting a target of 2 million passenger inbound traffic numbers coming through our ports.
On to some other stories. President Akufo-Addo has laid the foundation for the commencement of work for the Phase 2 of the $1.5 billion Terminal 3 project by Meridian Port Services as part of Tema Port expansion. Now, the second phase of the project will expand the Terminal 3 holding capacity from 100 hectares to 127 hectares with total completion in 2025. President Akufo-Addo underscored the importance of port infrastructure.
Through our partnership with international partners and friends of Ghana, our nation has established a world-class trade infrastructure. Not only does this infrastructure meet global standards, but it also signals to investors, both domestic and foreign, that Ghana is open for business. It is no mean achievement, as it reflects the immense potential of our nation. Indeed, the substantial investments made in the harbor since 2017, together with the state-of-the-art equipment we see today, have tripled the port's capacity. This indicates that Ghana is poised for unprecedented trade growth.
President Akufo-Addo there. Now, to ensure good turnaround time, Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Isiama said there will be expansion of road linking the port to the Accra-Tema motorway.
The other matching orders you have given to me is to make sure that the road leading from the port to join the motorway is constructed. And I can say on authority that, Mr. President, that's your marching order. We are going through the legal regimes, and I can assure you, my information from the MD of MPS and GPHA that they are nearing completion.
Kweku Ofori-Isiama is the Transport Minister. Macroeconomic modeling in Ghana appears to be on the right track. That's according to African Development Bank's latest report on benchmark macroeconomic models for effective policy management in Africa. The report aims at taking an inventory of models currently used by countries while gaining a better understanding of their features. Blessed Suga has more from the African Economic Conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The 2023 African Economic Conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, witnessed the launch of the African Development Bank's report on macroeconomic models for effective policy management in Africa. As stakeholders at this conference reflect on the imperatives for sustainable industrial development in Africa, the Development Bank outdoored its latest survey, which carried out an inventory of macroeconomic models currently used by countries while gaining a better understanding of their features and predictive capacities. Professor Kevin Chika Urama is Chief Economist and Vice President of the African Development Bank.
While some might argue that economic development is often a gamble, it has become evident that having sound models that are embedded in national realities improves the probability of winning that gamble.
Blazer Suga filed that report. Back home, in a bid to enhance resilience and profitability within the financial sector, banks have been entreated to embrace internal control systems within their operating frameworks. According to Chairman of the Board Audit Committee at GCB Bank, Ray Ankara, it is incumbent on all banks to pay critical attention to internal control systems in order to optimize profitability even in the face of economic challenges. He spoke to Joy Business at the inauguration of the network of heads of internal control by the Ghana Banks Association.
In the end, what we want to build is a resilient bank, and a resilient bank will make money. When they are making money, they pay more taxes, they create more jobs. So it is something positive all round. The other thing too that this will do is it will help us to withstand shocks and disruptions. These things will happen as sure as night follows day. We're going to have challenges in the wider economy. And banks do play a pivotal role in the economy. Now, if the control environment is not sound, it's not robust, there will be issues.
And to some other stories, government has been entreated to incentivize businesses to invest in education and research. This, according to the founder of the Accra Business School, Bishop Gideon Titiofe, says will help bridge the gap between academia and the industry. He suggested that this can be done through effective policies, help solve the unemployment menace in the country. Bishop Titiofe was speaking at the 15th congregation of the Accra Business School.
To maximize the impact of these efforts, supportive policies from our government are crucial. We urge the government to formulate policies that promote the integration of academic learning with industry needs. Such policies can provide incentives for businesses to invest in educational partnerships, research and development initiatives, creating a fertile ground for innovation and economic growth.
More on businesses, and they have been entreated or encouraged to make investments in their communities through corporate social responsibilities. This, some observers say, will complement government's effort of development. Speaking to Joy Business after Sustainability and Social Investment Awards in Accra, the chairman of the awarding board, Professor Douglas Boateng, said companies must be recognized for making positive impacts in their host communities.
They were following their talk with actions, and this is what we need in society. We have a tendency to talk a lot in our society, but we now need people that are implementers, that are acting their talk. And this Sustainability Awards is basically to acknowledge those that are making an impact, not just within their small community, but across the country. And the companies that have been honored have really done a lot in terms of making a difference and positive impact within the societies with which they have business interests. These days, it's not about making money within yourself. You also have to make an impact.
You're still listening to the Joy Business Report. President of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, Solomon Latte, is making a call for event organizers to consider any form of insurance package when organizing outdoor events and entertainment shows. He argues that this is the surest way to share liability in the unforeseen situation for an accident. Solomon Latte made the call during the 4th edition of Showbiz Roundtable, a thought leadership program by Joy Entertainment.
There are also specific event insurance policies that people can buy. There's event liability insurance that covers your liability as an event organizer or host or whichever side of it you want to look at it, your liability to third parties coming to the premises. Somebody comes there, they trip and fall.
Solomon Latte is the president of the Chartered Institute of Insurance Ghana. Time now for Money Lab.
Hello, welcome to Money Lab. My name is Kofi Poli, Chief Operations Officer of People's Pension Trusts. Still, we are on our pension tidbits on Money Lab. Today, we are going to look at the pension architecture in Ghana. Tier 1 is the Basic National Pension Scheme, which is handled by the statutory body of Ghana for pensions, that is SNIT. Under this act, it says that wherever there is an employer-employee relationship, the employer will deduct 5.5% of the employee's salary and add 13% to the employee's salary. So we have 18.5%. Out of this 18.5%, 13.5% will pay to SNIT for the Basic National Pension Scheme, which is mandatory. Thank you once again for being with us.
And that's it for the Joy Business Report. Before we go, let me tell you something about the EcoBank salary account. Well, the EcoBank salary account is a special account designed for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank salary account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account plus many more. EcoBank salary account gives workers free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 cedis, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, high interest on savings, no minimum balance, ability to save through the EcoBank Save as you spend, a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent or temporary disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close their existing accounts to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank salary account. Just ask your branch to switch your existing account to the EcoBank salary account. Non-EcoBank account holders should approach any EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank salary account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. Call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003 225 wherever for further details. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. I am Pius Kojupaka. Thanks for your company. Ignition is next with Sami Forsen. Do enjoy.